Florianopolis, also known as Floripa or Ilha da Magia, Magic Island, has more than 40 beaches, incredible hikes, sand dunes, seafood, nightlife, surfing, and one of the most underrated lifestyles in Brazil. But the island is massive, it is spread out, and a lot of the best experiences are easy to miss unless you know where to look. After spending over a year living here and now applying for my Brazilian citizenship from here, these are the 15 things I would tell every friend to do when visiting Florianopolis, including the famous attractions, my favorite local experiences, and a few things you probably will not find on a typical tourist itinerary. And stay until the end because I'm also sharing the biggest mistake tourists make when planning their trip and the best time of year to visit. If you're new here, hi, I'm Danielle, founder of the Wanderlover. I am a full-time traveler, creator, and online business coach. And after traveling to 69 countries, my family and I made Florianopolis one of our home bases. On this channel, I share what it's really like to travel, live abroad, and build a life and business on your own terms. So make sure you subscribe for new videos every week. Let's get into the 15 things you absolutely must do in Florianopolis. Number 1 is sandboard down the Joaquina Dunes. These massive white sand dunes are right next to Joaquina Beach, and they honestly look like they belong in the middle of a desert rather than on a tropical island. You can usually rent a sandboard nearby, walk up one of the dunes, and ride down. It is very tough and it's such a good workout. It looks easy until you actually try it. Walking back up is not an easy feat. Even if you don't want to sandboard, the dunes are still worth visiting for the views, photos, and the experience of walking through such a completely different landscape that's just completely unexpected from this island. Try to go earlier in the morning or closer to sunset because the sand can get extremely hot in the middle of the day, especially in the summer. Number 2 is to take a boat to Campeche Island. Campeche Island is one of the most beautiful places in Florianopolis. The water is extremely clear and turquoise, and when the conditions are right, it almost feels like you've arrived somewhere in the Caribbean. You can reach the island by boat from different departure points, including Praia do Campeche and Armaçao, depending on the season and the sea conditions. And once you arrive, you can swim, snorkel, relax on the beach, and explore some of the island's archaeological sites and rock inscriptions with an authorized guide. Boat access can be limited, especially during busy periods and high season, so arrange this ahead of time instead of assuming you can just show up and immediately get a spot. Also, check the weather before booking because wind and ocean conditions can completely change the experience. Number 3 is to go hiking. This island has some of the most beautiful coastal hikes I have ever done, and there is an option for almost every fitness level. The most famous one is Lagoinha do Leste. You hike through the forest and emerge at a remote beach surrounded by mountains. More adventurous hikers can continue up to the viewpoint at Morro da Coroa, which gives you one of the most recognizable views in Floripa. Lagoinha do Leste is not a casual stroll, so bring proper shoes, water, sunscreen, and snacks because during most of the year, there's gonna be nowhere to buy them and you're gonna want to bring them yourself. For something more relaxed, I recommend Costa da Lagoa. The trail passes through small communities, forest, and waterfront restaurants, and you can take a boat back instead of hiking both directions. The hike itself takes an hour and a half, and it's very well maintained. Another one of my favorites is Gravata. It's right by Praia Mole. It's shorter, but it is kind of steep to begin with. It gives you beautiful views and access to a small private beach. Just remember that the trails can be muddy or slippery after rain, so I don't recommend going right after a rainy day. Phone service may be inconsistent, so just be prepared to be disconnected for a few hours. Number 4 is to try surfing or kite surfing. So Florianopolis is one of Brazil's most famous surfing destinations, and some of the best surfers in the world come from Floripa. Even if you have never surfed before, this is also the perfect place to take lessons. Beaches like Barra da Lagoa often have beginner-friendly surf schools, while places like Joaquina and Praia Mole are known for stronger stronger waves and more experienced surfers. The best beach for you will depend on the weather, the swell, the wind conditions, and your ability. So ask a local surf school instead of choosing based on just how you think the water looks. You'll also see a lot of kite surfing around the island, especially near Lagoa da Conceição and other areas with favorable wind conditions. Even when I am not surfing, I love just sitting on the beach and watching everyone in the water. Surf culture is a huge part of life here, and I just love how active everyone is. Number 5 is to experience Carnaval and the street Blocos. So visiting Floripa during Carnaval gives you a completely different experience of the city. There are street parties, which are known as Blocos, live music, costumes, dancing, and celebrations happening across so many different neighborhoods. There's like hundreds and hundreds of them over the course of a few weeks to almost a month. Some events are enormous and crowded. I went to one this past year with 40,000 people, and others feel much more local and family friendly. One of the best parts is seeing people of every age participating. You'll see like families with children during the day and groups continuing the party late into the night and early in the morning. Wear comfortable shoes, take only the essentials, keep your phone secure, and check the local schedule because the locations and times can change every year. If you can, try to keep an eye out for a master Excel spreadsheet that gets sent around where you can see exactly how big the Blocko is, where it is, what time it starts, and what the theme is. Even outside the main Carnival period, Floripa has festivals, parties, and live music throughout the entire summer. Number 6 is my favorite part of the island, which is Barra da Lagoa. And you should definitely spend a full day exploring here. It's one of the easiest places to spend the whole day because several attractions are concentrated in the same area. So what I would do is start by walking through the village and crossing the pedestrian bridge. From there, you can follow the trail towards the natural rock pools. The scenery is so beautiful. There is a lighthouse. Just be careful when you are walking around the rocks and avoid entering the water when the ocean is rough because the waves can get big. You can also walk towards the beach and you can sit down, eat lunch there, or take a surf lesson. While you are in Barra da Lagoa, visit Projeto Tamar, which is Brazil's sea turtle conservation project. It is a great stop for families, and it is also really interesting for adults who want to learn more about marine life and conservation. A few times throughout the year, you can also release your own baby sea turtles. And then what I would do is to finish your day with seafood or a caipirinha near the canal. I'm looking out the window right now and there is a beautiful big bluebird that just flew by. Oh my God, the wildlife here is amazing. Number 7 is to explore Santo Antônio de Lisboa. It is one of the most charming historic areas in Florianopolis. You'll find cobblestone streets, colorful colonial style buildings, little shops, art galleries, and waterfront restaurants. The area reflects the Azorean influence that shaped much of Florianopolis, so it feels very different from the island's surf towns and modern neighborhoods. I would recommend going in the late afternoon, walk around slowly, and stay for sunset. This is also where the oldest street in Floripa is, and you'll see like it's very rugged and it's very historic. The sun sets over the water on the side of the island, so it's one of the most beautiful places to watch sunset. It's also famous for oysters, so it is a great place to order fresh local seafood with a view if you like seafood. Number 8 is to visit the Fortaleza de São José da Ponta Grossa. So for history and incredible ocean views, this is where I would go. It is a fortress and it was built during the colonial period as part of the region's coastal defense system. You can walk through the historic structures, learn about the island's past, and look out over the surrounding beaches and coastline. It is located near Praia do Forte and Jurerê, so you can easily combine it with a beach day. The setting is just as impressive as the fortress itself, especially on a clear day. Check the opening hours before going because access can vary. Number 9 is to visit one of my favorite beaches, Matadeiro and Pântano do Sul. So to experience the quieter southern part of the island, I would spend a day around Matadeiro and then go down to Pântano do Sul. Matadeiro is reached on foot from Praia do Armação, which already makes arriving there feel special. There are no cars directly on the beach, and the surrounding hills make it feel very secluded crowded. It is beautiful, relaxed, and also popular with surfers. Farther south, Pantano do Sul has a traditional fishing village atmosphere and some excellent seafood restaurants. This part of Floripa, which is actually where I'm recording from right now, feels very different from the busy northern beaches. It is slower, more local, more surrounded by nature, and you won't see as many tourists at all. You can also use this area as a starting point for certain hikes and boat trips. Number 10 is to walk across the Hercílio Luz Bridge. This bridge is one of the most important symbols of Florianopolis. During New Year's, they have fireworks like raining from the bottom of the bridge, and it is so special. It connects the island to the mainland and is especially beautiful when illuminated at night. On Sundays, the experience can be very fun when pedestrian and recreational access is prioritized, so they actually close off the bridge and you can walk across. So depending on the current local schedule and traffic arrangements, you will be able to walk over to the mainland. You can spend the day just walking around, exploring the waterfront area where there's a lot of stands and great food to eat. You can combine this with Parque da Luz, which has some of the best viewpoints for photographing the bridge. This is also an easy activity to pair with the Historic Center and Mercado Público, which is my next recommendation, to have lunch at Mercado Público. To experience the center or centro of Florianopolis, visit this on a weekday and stay for lunch. The market is located in a beautiful historic building and is filled with restaurants, bars, seafood vendors, and local products. It can be very lively around lunchtime with people meeting for drinks, sharing plates, and listening to live music. Try a pastel, order seafood, or sit down for a longer meal in the central courtyard. The surrounding downtown area is busiest on weekdays, so that is generally the best time to experience it. Verify the opening hours before visiting, particularly on weekends and holidays, because each of the businesses may operate on different schedules and they're not open 24/7. Number 12 is to eat your way through Floripa. You cannot visit Florianopolis without trying the local food. The island is especially known for seafood and oysters. You can eat them raw, grilled, baked with cheese, or prepared in so many other ways. Try sequência de camarão, which is a feast involving shrimp prepared in multiple styles with different side dishes. Moqueca is another one of my favorites. It is a rich Brazilian seafood stew that is usually served with rice, farofa, and pirão. You should also experience Brazilian churrasco, ideally at a traditional steakhouse or a Brazilian friend's house. They serve different cuts of meats, sometimes hearts, sausages, cheese. They're served directly from the grill onto your plate, and you can dip it in my favorite hammer mustard. For snacks and treats, you should definitely try pastel, pão de queijo, and a proper Brazilian açaí bowl. And of course, have at least one caipirinha made with fresh lime and Brazilian cachaça. Just be careful because at the beaches, they make caipirinhas so strong. Just one is enough. I could honestly make an entire video of what to eat here, and I might. An idea for another day. Number 13 is what I've been doing almost every single Saturday for the past year, which is to visit a farmer's market. One of my favorite ways to experience the local lifestyle and stock up on my fruits and vegetables is to go to a farmer's market. So depending on the neighborhood, you can find fresh produce, organic food, bread, cheese, flowers, handmade products, prepared meals. These markets are less about checking off a tourist attraction and more about seeing what everyday life and consumption is like in Floripa. Get some tropical fruit, try a fresh juice, talk to the local vendors. The exact markets, locations, and operating schedules can change, so ask your accommodation host or search locally for a feira happening near where you are staying. The one I go to is in Rio Tabares, right next to Forte Atacadista, and it's every Tuesday and Saturday from like 6 a.m. to 11 a.m., but double check because obviously this can change. Number 14 is to experience Floripa's nightlife. So Florianopolis has nightlife for almost every style. Jurerê is known for upscale beach clubs, glamorous parties, and a more luxurious scene. My favorite club on the island is called P12 or P12, and it is in Jurerê. They have amazing DJs coming in throughout the summer through Carnaval. Around Lagoa da Conceição, you will find a more casual mix of bars, live music, and places where you can go out without dressing as formally. There are also amazing restaurants and bars and food halls in Centro. Nightlife becomes especially active during the summer and around holidays. Distances can be significant. Ubers and rides may become expensive late at night, so I would plan your night and transportation before going out. Like if you go to a certain area, you're kind of committed for the night. And last but not least, my last recommendation for you is to attend a tech, entrepreneurship, or crypto meetup. This is the final recommendation because most travel guides will never mention this, but Florianopolis has such a huge tech and entrepreneurship community. There are startup events, co-working meetups, business gatherings, workshops, and occasional crypto or Web3 events happening around the city. And this is one of the reasons Floripa has become so popular with digital nomads and entrepreneurs, because it has the infrastructure to support all of these remote workers. You can spend the morning surfing and then attend a startup event or networking event that same afternoon. Look on platforms like Meetup, LinkedIn, Instagram, and local WhatsApp communities to see what is happening while you are here. Most of the events are held in English, but even when it is held in Portuguese, people are always welcoming, and it is such a great way to meet locals beyond the tourism scene. I'm personally going to Startup Summit next month, and it is a 3-day conference for startup founders and investors, and it is just such a fun networking event. I'm going to leave you with some important tips before visiting Floripa. My first and foremost, definitely rent a car. This is my biggest recommendation, and I feel like so many people make the mistake of just relying on Ubers or public transportation. But if you want to explore Floripa to the fullest, definitely rent a car. It looks relatively compact on a map, but the attractions and beaches are spread across the entire island, and the island is quite big. Traffic can make distances feel much longer than expected, and going from the north to the south can take a significant amount of time, especially during summer, weekdays, and holidays. Public transportation exists, and ride-sharing apps like Uber or 99 can work well for occasional trips, but relying on them for your entire itinerary can definitely limit what you see. Having a car gives you the freedom to explore quieter beaches, change plans based on the weather, and visit several nearby attractions in one day. And if you rent for a month, the rates are very affordable. Just avoid overpacking your schedule, because 2 places that look close on a map may still require a long drive because of the island's roads, mountains, and traffic. The best time of year to visit Florianopolis depends on what you want. Summer from roughly December through February gives you the hottest beach weather, the warmest water, the biggest parties, and the most energy. It's when the island comes alive. But it is also the busiest and the most expensive period, and traffic can be really intense. Like where I live in the middle of the island, I don't leave my house after 2 p.m. during the summer because the traffic is just like a standstill. Carnaval usually happens in February or March, so depending on the year, it is an amazing time to visit for celebrations if that is your scene. I personally love the shoulder seasons, especially parts of the spring and early autumn. The weather isn't too cold. You can still get beautiful, warm, sunny days, but the island is generally less crowded. Winter can be very, very cold, like not what you are thinking, tropical Brazil. Sometimes I wear sweaters and jackets, and it's much colder than most foreigners expect, particularly in southern Brazil. It can still be beautiful for hiking, surfing, and experiencing local life, but you shouldn't assume it will be tropical beach weather every day. The weather in Floripa changes quickly regardless of the season, so build flexibility into your itinerary. And if you're here on the island to surf, just note that once a year they do close most of the beaches off to fish tainha, which is mullet. So for 1 or 2 months between May and July, all the beaches except like a select few are closed and you won't be able to surf. So those are the 15 things I think everyone should do when visiting Floripa. What makes this island special is that you can combine so many completely different experiences in one trip. Like honestly, a few days is not enough. You can hike to a remote beach, sandboard through giant dunes, eat fresh oysters, go surfing, and then attend a tech or networking event or a beach party that same evening. Let me know in the comments which experience you would do first, and if you've already visited Floripa, tell me what I missed because I would love to make a part 2 if needed. Make sure you subscribe for more videos about Brazil, travel, entrepreneurship, and building a life that gives you the freedom to work from anywhere. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.